What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back with another Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger video. Now, I thought about this the other day, and I'm like, the whole thing when it comes down to that Chris apparently smothered them twice. I thought about it, and I was like, well, wait, maybe he tried in the beginning, and it failed. But then the second time, somebody else did it because he couldn't do it again. Just the theory for educational and research purposes. It's just a possible theory and that I'm thinking about, and I would definitely like to dive into it a little bit in depth with you guys, because if Nicole was the secondary person, she needs to be looked at as well, like we've always talked about. Now we're going to be watching Zav Girl's video when it comes to Chris Watts smothering the girls twice. Shocking info in his letter. I don't know if I've ever read this letter. I'm kind of falling out of all the letters that this man has wrote and so forth like that. The Jezebel and all these other letters that he keeps pushing out and so forth like that. So I definitely want to dive into it and discuss afterwards after we watch this. So before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I'm so blessed to have all of you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. We're almost 62,000 strong. We're trying to get to 100K, but I need your guys' help. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Zav Girl. Make sure you guys go give her some love and so forth for all the effort and work that she's put into these Watts case videos. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
Sorry about the last video. I know the sound was horrible. We filmed it at the pizza shop and all the equipment running at a restaurant is really loud. I realize that, so we're gonna either have to not film it there anymore, or it was never as bad on live for some reason, but on me this article that just came out today, so I haven't had time to even let it sink in. I just skimmed it so quick and I was like, I got to get this out there. I got to make a video. So I feel like I haven't even reacted yet. I skimmed through it. I want to read it to you guys.
I'm wondering if I've never even read it myself.
By the time I upload it, you guys might have already heard it. But oh well. This is crazy. Like, I get some of the book has leaked. Some more of the book, and this part is pretty freaking interesting. So I'm gonna read you a part of this letter, okay, from Chris. This is a part of that letters to Christopher or whatever from her book that's coming out, okay? I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna read some of this interesting part here that, like I said, I don't even think I've had time to react. Like, I don't even know how I feel, but I just know when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Like, can this guy get any eviler? Like, can he be any more evil?
Oh, he's evil.
I'm trying to think where I want to start reading it. Okay, here we go. So, I'm not sure if I want this in the book or if God does. But here we are, the things I left out. August 12th, when I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what was going to happen the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. I was numb to the entire world. I had literally taken my kids to a birthday party. I played with water balloons, had an amazing time, sang songs all the way home, gave them both a shower, ate dinner, read bedtime stories, and sang bedtime songs, and still nothing registered. When Shanann had to be somewhere, I always enjoyed taking the girls places or playing outside because it was our opportunity to bond. And still, even the night before, I couldn't stop myself from what I knew would occur the next morning. August 13th, morning of, I went to the girls' room first. Before Shanann and I had our argument, I went to Bella's room, then Cece's room, and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering.
But didn't they collect the pillows and found no residence of smothering on the pillows?
I left Cece's room. Then I climbed back in bed with Shanann and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the act that much worse knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at the location. The reason the medical examiner found OxyContin in Shanann's system is because I gave it to her. I thought it would be easier to be with Nicole if Shanann...
So he gave the medicine to her twice, which we've already found out. The one time was in North Carolina, and the other time was that morning because she must have had a headache or something like that. And he tried to induce her to be loopy and so forth like that.
Wasn't pregnant. If the world knew all of that, I'm pretty sure a new petition would be started to have me put to death, or I would be killed in prison if I ever got transferred from this institution.
She should be put to death.
So, okay, let me respond to some of that now. Okay, first of all, wow, like, I don't even know what to say. Hold on. Let me finish reading this. Okay. Okay. So after I left Cece's room, then I climbed back in bed with Shanann, and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. Bella's eyes were bruised, and both girls looked like they had been through trauma.
But when the coroner, why is this down here? When the coroner spoke about bruises and so forth like that, wouldn't he have seen the bruises around their eyes and so forth like that? He said that they didn't have any. Bella was the one that had her scrapes and her palate right here broken and her tongue was bit into, but wouldn't they have the bruising circles around their eyes, and the coroner would have been able to see that?
Yeah, because they have been through trauma. Oh my God. That made the act that much worse, knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at the location of the batteries. God, can you imagine what
I can't.
They must have went through? So it sounds like after Shanann got home, so she got home and she must have got changed or whatever, and she must have been like waiting in bed, and then he went to their rooms. What do you tell her? I'm going to tuck the girls in, or I'm going to go...
It doesn't make sense for him to do it twice. That's why I'm just very puzzled at this twice smothering that he did. Maybe he failed the first time and then he couldn't stomach to do it the second time. I'm not giving him any out, okay? This man is a complete monster, no doubt about it, but it's just, what if he tried to do it the first time, failed, and Nicole instead finished it? Just hypothetically thinking, it's just a theory. It's just for educational and research purposes.
Check on the girls, but wouldn't the baby monitors be on? Like, wouldn't she be seeing him in the baby monitors if she was still home? Because he made it seem like it was like right before the argument, like right... It wasn't real specific, but almost seemed like it was actually after Shanann got home, but, you know, before he killed Shanann, but it was like almost like she was already in the bedroom when he did it. Doesn't that sound like that to you? I'm not sure. Maybe he did it before she got home, but in that letter, the way he writes it, it sounds like, yes, it was like she was already home in bed waiting, and then he went in the rooms, he smothered both of them, and then went and killed Shanann. But like I said, wouldn't she have seen him on the monitors? They had baby monitors. There's no way she wouldn't have been looking at those.
And the monitors didn't have a card, and they didn't have a way to save, so they probably just used them to watch and look to see if the girls were okay. So that just throws that out of the park when it comes to the whole watching on camera.
Like, I don't understand that. Okay, let me finish here. So actually, he also admitted in the letter that he had been plotting the murders for some time. So August 12th, when he finished putting the girls to bed, he walked away saying, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what was going to happen the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. Gosh, this guy's evil. And then this part, which I don't understand. Okay, so, I mean, I understand it. Okay. I guess he kind of changed the story a little bit. It says he also confessed that he had slipped the potent painkiller OxyContin to his wife in the hope of inducing a miscarriage. I thought it would be easier to be with Nicole if Shanann wasn't pregnant, he wrote. But then it says, okay, so now he's gonna explain when he killed Shanann. It says, isn't it weird how I look back and what I remember so much is her face getting all black with streaks of mascara, Watts said. All the weeks of me thinking about killing her. All the weeks. Like he was planning it for weeks. Oh my God. But
I don't think it was planned weeks out. I think it was within days. But it was still premeditated. But I don't think he was thinking about it for weeks. But again, what do you guys think?
I guess, does it surprise us? No. Like we were thinking that, but to actually hear it coming from him is kind of shocking, even though we all were thinking like he premeditated it, he thought about it. We all assumed that and really thought that, but like to actually hear him say that is still kind of shocking, or still kind of, whoa, like. So it says, now I was faced with it. When she started to get drowsy, I somehow knew how to squeeze the jugular veins until it cut off the blood flow to her brain and she passed out. I knew if I took my hands off of her, she would still keep me from Nikki. They asked me why she couldn't fight back. It's because she couldn't fight back. Her eyes filled with blood as she looked at me and she died. I knew she was gone when she relieved herself. And then Watt said, okay, so first of all, though, before her eyes would have filled with blood, she would have had time to fight back. It's not like that happened. I mean, that takes minutes. So why, it still doesn't answer the question, why didn't she fight back when he first started? Like, so that's why there's still some inconsistency. There's still some not...
I would say either shock or she didn't know. Like, she was like she couldn't deal with it because it was so sudden, or she didn't see it coming.
He's still not telling the full truth, because it's not like her eyes would fill with blood right away and she would die right away. It takes minutes. So where was that fight for those minutes prior to her passing out? And exactly. You know, but anyway, he says, Watt said that to his surprise, his daughters came walking into the room while he was wrapping Shanann in a bedsheet and began asking what was wrong with their mom. He told them she wasn't feeling well. So now he's saying daughters. So now he's saying they both walked in. Because, you know, at first, or the second confession, he said it was just Bella that walked in. Now he's saying they both walked in, okay? So then it says, you know, he tried to carry Shanann's body downstairs, but she was too heavy. He lost grip. He ended up dragging her down. So that's the same. And then he bundled her in.
So if he's losing grip by taking her down the stairs, you think he's going to be able to carry her out willy-nilly, just easy peasy? There's no way.
In the back of the truck, okay. And he said the girls were just kind of running around the house. That's kind of how he explained it in the second confession. And they were watching me with scared looks on their face. Bella started to cry, and when she did, Celeste started whimpering. What a nightmare this was. Yeah, what a nightmare for them. Like it's almost like he's saying what a nightmare for himself. Yeah, what a nightmare for your two precious little daughters. What a nightmare for them. What a nightmare for Shanann. But you're saying what a nightmare this was, like referring to yourself. Oh my God. This is making me mad. It really is. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is the part I don't understand, because he said the reason the medical examiner found OxyContin in Shanann's system is because I gave it to her. But I don't remember
him doing it twice.
The medical examiner finding OxyContin in her system. Did I miss something there? That I don't understand that.
But see, when I looked at the autopsy reports, they didn't say anything about it in the autopsy. So maybe I need to look back into it.
I don't remember on the toxicology that it said OxyContin. But anyway, so let me know if I missed something there. But it said, I thought it would be easier to be with Nicole if Shanann wasn't pregnant. So it looks like it said at first, his story kind of changed. Like at first, like one time he said he gave her the OxyContin a few times in North Carolina, and then, you know, right before her death. And then it said, oh, another time he said he just gave it to her in North Carolina. So I'm not sure what the truth is, but considering I don't think the medical examiner found OxyContin in her system, he probably just gave it to her in North Carolina, hoping that she would have a miscarriage. And then maybe when they went to that, remember they went to the ultrasound, and he probably found out that the baby was healthy and it was going to be fine, and maybe that's when he decided, okay, the miscarriage thing didn't work, the OxyContin miscarriage thing didn't work, so I'm gonna have to go through with my other plan B, you know,
which he did 2 weeks before the actual murders took place. So that definitely would make sense that he's like, oh crap, it didn't work, so let's do it this way. But
maybe that's how it went down, because the ultrasound was after they got back from North Carolina. It said he gave her the OxyContin in North Carolina, hoping that she would have a miscarriage, and then it would be easier to be with Nicole if Shanann wasn't pregnant. So then he gives it to her how many times in North Carolina. Then they go to ultrasound, probably finding out the baby's healthy. So then he's probably like, shoot, my plan didn't work. The baby's still healthy. What do I do? Let's go with plan B. What's plan B? Let's take out the whole family, right? So, and then though, when she asked him where he got the Oxycontin, he said, I'm going to take that to my death. He's not, basically he's never going to tell where he got the Oxycontin. So that, still leaving it. Questions. Where the heck did he get that Oxycontin? Who's he protecting? I don't know. So he says, I realize now that the girls getting up and walking around may have been God's third attempt to stop what I was doing. Yes, it probably was. So why didn't you listen to God then? The only time you listen to him when it's going to benefit yourself. He said he had an overwhelming feeling. His overwhelming feeling was being so mad that they were still alive. I mean, just think about that for a minute. He was so mad that they actually got back up and they were still alive after he tried to kill him the first time. And then, of course, what we all knew, he said basically when the FBI asked him if he was planning on taking his life, and he said, yeah, he said that wasn't true. He wasn't planning on that. But we all knew that. We all knew he wasn't planning on taking his life. So, and then as far as how he killed them by putting the blanket over the head, it's the same as his second confession. And he said, so he said Celeste's body squeezed through the 8-inch hatch really easy. He was surprised how easily, and it was just how easy it was to just let her drop through the hole and let her go. I heard the splash as it hit the oil. And then he said how he killed Bella. He said after she watched him dispose of her sister, he spoke of his surprise that little quiet Bella had a will to live. Of course she had a will to live.
She knew it. She was so smart.
He said, out of all three, Bella is the only one that put up a fight. I will hear her soft little voice for the rest of my life. Good, you should. You should hear her soft little voice for the rest of your life. I don't even know. I feel like I'm still in shock what is coming out of his freaking mouth. He said, you know, her saying, Daddy, no, and she knew what I was doing to her. She may not have understood death. But she knew I was killing her. Can you imagine that? Oh my gosh. A 5-year-old innocent child might not fully understand death, but knew this violent act was going to be
her demise
acted upon her. You know, she knew. She saw him do that to her sister. Imagine how traumatic that is. And then seeing her dad come back knowing he was going to do the same thing to her. Oh my God. And this, okay, he said he had put the girls in the tank so they wouldn't get up the second time. So he puts them in the tank, making sure this time they're for sure going to be dead. They're not getting up this time. Like, what? I don't even know. I feel sick even repeating his words because it is so evil. This kind of went along with his second confession. He did dump Shanann on the ground. At least that's what he says. Before he killed Bella and Celeste, and then he walked back to the truck. Then he took Bella and Celeste's life, and then he went back to bury Shanann. Okay? So he said, when I dug the hole, it seemed a lot deeper than it was. As I pulled on the sheet, she rolled out into the hole. I think she had given birth.
Sick, man.
When I dug the hole, it seemed a lot deeper than it was. As I pulled on the sheet, she rolled out and into the hole, and I think she had given birth. She landed face down. I remember being so angry with her that I was not going to change how she landed, he said.
And yet he wants to get out.
But I don't understand, because he said, you know, that's why earlier he said when he smothered the girls in the bed, and then that's why on the autopsy it showed up as being smothered. But that's not how they ultimately died, because they didn't die that time. So it only matters kind of how they really died. You know what I'm saying? So it still doesn't make sense if he's saying that he... I don't know. We don't know his exact actions with that blanket. Maybe it was more of a smothering. I'm talking about in the car at the site than it was like a strangle. But he kind of described like putting his hand over the mouth and the neck. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, but when him saying that's kind of weird, because it doesn't matter, because they didn't die that first time. So why is he saying, well, that's why it showed up that way? I don't know. And then it makes me wonder, if they woke up the first time, let's pray to God that they did not wake up a second time in that oil, because
they didn't.
Let's just pray that they were.
The coroner said that they were not alive when they hit the oil.
Already gone when he put him in the oil. I can't even think otherwise. So it says, when Cato asked him about the claims that Watts gave his wife Oxycontin, he responded with conflicting stories, like I was saying earlier, saying he had given it to her twice. Once at her parents' home in North Carolina to try it to cause a miscarriage, and then immediately before her death. He later contradicted himself and said he only gave it to her once in North Carolina, which I think that's the true case, because maybe not only once, but maybe he only gave it to her in North Carolina, because why wasn't it in her toxicology report? It wasn't, at least not the one that they released in the Discovery, so I don't know. And then this is when she said she asked him where he got the oxy, and he told me that is one of the things he will take to his death. So he said a few hours after he buried his family, Watts' alibi began to fall apart. Yes.
And even if Nicole supplied the oxy, that's technically involvement.
Did. I don't even know what to think about this. What do you guys think about this? Like I said, it hasn't even sunk in. Like she just sent me this article, like less video, and so I set up, and it just hasn't even hit me yet. And like I said, it's not stuff necessarily that we haven't thought that could be an option, but just to hear it actually coming from him is just, I don't know, it's still kind of shocking. Or it's just, maybe I just have to let it sink in, because I'm just reliving.
So what is your thoughts on this possibility that he did it twice? I don't believe it whatsoever. I think the original plan was the girls were out at Survey 319. I don't know why he would say it twice, unless he tried to do it once at the house, failed, called Nicole and said, I can't do this. I murdered my wife. I tried to do my girls too, but it didn't work. I can't do it again. Can you come over? And she helped. It's, again, a theory. It's not facts. It's entertainment purposes. I just wanted to throw that out there. Let me know what you guys think down in the description, or down in the comments below. I would surely like to know your guys' partake on it. Please, no bullying. Please be positive. Don't be negative and so forth like that. We're just trying to find the truth. I feel like there's something that ties NK in here. And I feel like when he sits there and says that he will take this to his grave, maybe it's NK, because if NK supplied it, it's technically an accessory, because it's like giving a person a gun and you using it. Like, you're helping the case, you're helping the traumatic event, as you will. So again, comment your guys' thoughts down below. Don't forget to hit the like button for the obvious reasons that hopefully one day we will find justice in this case being 100% completed. Don't forget to go over to Zavgirl, give her some love, subscribe, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys next time.